Hello, moment friends! Andang here for another episode of March of the King. When we last left off, we are getting ready to go and talk once more with these captives and hopefully finish off the quest here after having interacted and saved an elephant and got a ton of treasure. So let's go ahead and continue on with March of the King. Were it any but you among these men, I would not trust that the task had been finished. These rangers have treated us better than I believed they would. But I shall not trust them, not this day, nor any day in the future. You have done me and my people a great favor, and I shall not forget that. All I wish for now is the chance to return home with my men and leave this war behind. You have my thanks. I have no love for these men, but if bloodshed can be avoided this day, I shall do what I must. Alright, water skins to the prisoners. 1 out of 4. An odd sort, these men. We have heard they never take prisoners, and yet here we are. Thank you, man. This water soothes my ills. I did not expect such treatment from these rangers. While I am saddened that I may not see my dear companion again, I am glad that he has left behind the lands of those who would do him harm. Loku Aki is a resilient monarch, and I am certain he shall find his way to Harad or Daggerlad in time, whenever he should choose to return from his journey. You have done me a great honor, man. Why even bother, man?
What tidings do you carry this day?
I hope that is enough to soothe the thirst for a time, Andeng. I do not wish to offer them more than we can spare our own, but water is plentiful in these lands. Let us hope such a gesture gives them pause, should they wish to attack us yet.
Let us hope you bring glad tidings, friend.
Through your efforts, we have learned of the Southron's purpose in their surrender. It was a wise decision, regardless of our past encounters with their people. And I am glad their War Master came to such a conclusion without further bloodshed. I am not certain we could have resolved this peacefully without your aid. Now we have upheld our half of the bargain, and I would expect them to do the same. It is time we hear what the War Master knows. If he has not spoken true, the blood of his fellows shall be on his hands alone. With the Southrons routed at the crossroads and Sirith Negin, our foes shall now mainly strike from the north. The enemy's plans for Daggerlad interest me greatly, as any force rallied there could soon spill into Ithilien and beyond. These are fragile times, my friend. A misstep now could spell doom for the host of the West, and for Gondor. I would question him myself, but he might more readily offer his knowledge to you after all you have done for his people here. Go, and speak to him again, and tell me what you learn. I have not deceived you or these rangers, champion. I wish to return to Harad, and I will tell you whatever it is you require to allow me and my men to depart in peace. You ask about the enemy's plans in Daggerlad, and to hear any other information Chet Kit Dolly might have about the movements of the enemy forces in the coming days. The Dark Lord rallies all loyal to him to Daggerlad and the Black Gate. Orcs, Easterlings, and even more of my people. He awaits the arrival of a great host, and lays many traps for them even now. As for the movements of his forces, I know of a company of Easterlings, the Kondolar, that have been ordered to hamstring the host as it passes through these woods. I do not know what they plan, but I would keep a careful watch on their forces. They are brutal beyond understanding, and would never surrender to you or any other. The orcs of Mordor shall likely be driven to enter these lands as well, but they will largely be held in reserve in the Black Land until the Dark Lord has use for them. If their numbers seem great now, you shall have much to fear in the days ahead. That is all I know, Anthony. Tell the rangers what I have told you, and urge them to lead us back to our homeland. Chan-Cat Dolly studies your face for a moment, and then speaks again. You are a curious man, and I am pleased to have spoken so much with you. Let us hope that there are better days ahead for both our peoples. I feel like that was not enough information, even remotely, to justify kind of what we have done for this guy. I feel like we definitely should have interrogated him quite a bit longer, but I don't know what else he would have done. But, you know, I feel like we're bending over backwards for these guys right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it just feels like that there should be more that we should be learning when we think that they might actually be traitors.
What tidings do you carry this day?
These are ill tidings, but I am heartened to know some of what awaits us, and gladder still that the Southron spoke true. We don't know that. I shall send a small company south with the prisoners, and bring them to the crossing of Poros. If the brethren move against my men in their travels, they have been ordered to slay any and all attackers. It is a harsh measure, but this is a tenuous peace, and it is clear from the War Master's own words that his people are divided. What we have learned today could prove vital to the host of the West, and I shall send one of my men to deliver word to Angborn as once. You have my thanks, Andang. Let us hope we can stand together again in the days to come. Alright, we now can move on to meet Thindel to the north, since we've aided all the rangers as much as we can. Halt. Stay where you are, champion, and tell me your purpose in Ithilien at once. You inform the ranger that you are a friend of Anborn, Mablung, and Jamrod. You then tell him that you sought to join Thurindel at Henethanoon, but became separated after passing through Allen Vernon. I see. You know many of my brethren, but a resourceful foe might also learn such things. You tell the ranger of the great battle on Pelennor Fields, and of Fairmere's rest in the Houses of Healing. Lord Fairmere lives still? I suspect that you speak the truth, for I know that my captain heals even now, and brings great relief, and no foe of the Rangers would desire to give us even the faintest hope. Still, do as I say if you are to come to Henethanoon. Sit near me, and I will blindfold you. As long as you heed my words, I swear no harm will come to you. Only by hidden paths will I lead you to the refuge of Henethanoon. Am I understood? Fine, but I've been there already on the beta server. Just so you know. Death pulls a cloth from his armor, and then the loading screen appears, and you don't know exactly what's going on. You have arrived at Henethanoon.
I fear these lands are utterly beyond healing.
I hope you did not hear too many chuckles as we arrived. You informed Oreth that you heard a few, but did not understand their context. I did not realize that so many of my brethren knew you, and your deeds. They think me a bit of a fool for taking such precautions with a friend of Anborn and Mablung. They all looked so amused as I led you in, but How was I to know? There have been too many travelers in Ithilien as of late. I stand by my decision, and I hope you can understand the wisdom in it. Welcome to Hinnathanoon, the window of the sunset, and our last refuge. Alright, what a welcoming party. This is awesome.
Take heart, allies. I sense a shift in the winds.
Thorindel stifles a laugh as you approach him. I am sorry, Ende. Dornak is a careful man, and that has always been a boon to our company. This time, it had the benefit of giving all of us a good laugh. In the end, we have reunited as I hoped. You are here, and there is much to be done if we are to clear the way for the host of the West. Andang, it is good to have you among us once again, my friend. We have won a great victory over the enemy, but the war is not over yet. Ithilien is in a precarious position and stands as the only remaining barrier between the lands of the enemy and Gondor. The northern reaches of Ithilien border Daggerland, the dread wastes of the Dark Lord, and his forces rally there even now. If the host of the West seeks to reach the Black Gate and draw fully the ire of the enemy, they must first pass through Ithilien without great loss. My men and I know these lands well, and we can teach you much of them, and how to gain advantages over our foes. All we ask in return is that you offer your skill in driving back the forces of the enemy until the host of the West can reach Daggerland. Mablung has been eager to speak with you since you arrived, and I would ask that you introduce yourself to Randrog and Leglar. You have not yet met them, but they know well of your deeds in the great battle. I have a favor to ask of you, my friend. Swift was our return to Hinnathanoon at the battle's ending, and we had little time to tend the wounded. We are a hearty folk, but an injury is an injury, no matter the man. A few of our number suffer wounds still, and I hope to heal them before the battle is rejoined. The lands of Ithilien are home to many useful herbs and flowers, and among them, king's foil. A mere weed in the eyes of many, I know of its restorative properties in the hands of a king, as well as those of an able healer. I have studied the king's foil potions and salves you bear, and I believe you might have a skill to heal my men. Search the foothills to the west, for king's foil has often grown on the slopes beneath Hinnathanoon. When you have gathered as much as you can bear, bring it to my men, and heal them as best you can. Be swift, Andang. Andang, I heard much of your discussion with Angborn, and he speaks true. We won a great victory, but it is certain that the hardest days of this war still lie ahead. The Dark Lord misjudged the strength of Gondor and Rohan, and it is unlikely that he will do so a second time. The forces he commands within Mordor and beyond are still many. Many more than any defense could repel. I am glad to have you at my side once more, and I hope we can clear the way in time.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
I have heard much about you, Andang, and I am honored to meet you at last. I have spent most of my many years in Ithilien guarding its northern reaches alongside Lord Faramir, but so much has occurred in recent days. I have learned some of the enemy's plans in Ithilien, and would be glad to share them with you if Anborn or Mablung have not already asked something else of you. Well, they have, so goodbye. The ranger in the back of the room.
The enemy gains ground, and yet you trouble me with your trifles.
You are a skilled champion, it seems. You are not one of us, however. The Rangers of Ithilien have held back the forces of Mordor for generations, and spared faraway lands the horrors of Mordor. I trust in my captain's judgment, and to that end I trust you. I just hope you do not mistake yourself for any of our brothers, any of the brothers I have lost in the long fight against the Dark Lord. The aftermath of the great battle has changed much, yes, but our duties remain firm. We will protect Gondor and all of those loyal to the host of the West. You're on the front lines now, Andang. Let us hope you are as skilled as they say. Why does everybody have to be so negative around here? That's what I've never understood. Lots of negative Nancys. To have one as storied as you among us is a boon to us all. There are bright days for Gondor and for us, in spite of any looming foes. My men are in good spirits, and hopes are not yet faded, nor should it. If you are prepared, we must begin to act against the enemy's forces in Ithilien at once. Being back in Hinethanoon has stirred my memories, Andang. Before you and I met in Osgiliath, our company was stationed here, and Lord Faramir held command. Through my many years in Ithilien, I have encountered both beauty and terror, but surely nothing stranger than what we found one night. We discovered 2 halflings and the strange pet creature. I swear it is true. They spent time amongst our company and spoke much of Lord Faramir in hushed tones, but we came to know them as best we could. I have some tales to tell of their time here, but I did not overhear as much as Anborn in our initial encounter with them. If you wish to know how we came to find them, you should ask Anborn to tell you the tale. Okay, that's exciting. We're getting ready to learn that. Cool. Our enemies have come closer to Hinethanoon each day, and unless we act to keep them from it, we shall be discovered before long. There are many ways for our foes to approach Hinethanoon, but thankfully very few through which they could enter. I would have you scout the far reaches of Ithilien, surrounding Hinethanoon for any sign of our foes. Their whereabouts in Ithilien are mostly known to us, but they move deeper into the woods with each passing hour, and we cannot chance them drawing too close, especially after Radrog's encounter with that troll. With our other refuges fallen, any task that draws us into Ithilien risks leading our foes back to the refuge. Go swiftly and take care that you are not followed. I shall await a report upon your return. There is a matter which has left a few of us uneasy, my friend. Upon our return, a great troll was wandering near the eastern entrance to Hinethanoon, in starlight, no less. We struck at it from the shadows, but it fled before we could deal a killing blow. We do not know if it learned of the refuge's entrance, or was passing by chance, but we cannot afford to be exposed to the enemy. To that end, I devised a plan to protect us if another troll draws too near. There are toads within Ithilien that produce a curious slime. It is not a threat to the lives to men or beasts, but it produces a strange sensation and floods one's vision with illusionary forms. With such a slime on our arrowheads, we shall have little to fear from even the largest of the enemy's forces. While they are being deceived by their own eyes, they will be easier to track and slay before they can return to their masters. Seek these toads and carefully harvest their slime in these phials. Once you have filled them, return to me, and I shall instruct you further. Could you aid me with something, Andang? In the haste of our return, my brethren and I have forgotten to set traps around Hinethanoon. These traps provide us an easy source of meat from the nearby beasts, and also keep wandering foes from straying too near to the refuge. I know it might seem a simple task, but if the war continues as it does, we shall have need for more meat and materials. The falls protect the western border of Hinathanun, so it is best to lay the traps to the south and east. I await your return. Alright, well I think that is a good end to this episode. Thank you everyone so much for watching another episode of March of the King. When we return, we will find out about Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, but that is not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of March of the King.